It's Friday, March 1st at about 11:40 in the morning, and I'm just going up to clean out a couple of my American Kestrel nest boxes. I do this typically at this time of year just to make sure there's nothing unusual in the box or old moldy material, anything dirty, dead carcasses, that kind of thing. You can clean them in the fall, but then there's always a chance that something may have gotten in there over the winter and either sort of messed it up or died even, who knows. So I usually do it just before they come back. I haven't seen a kestrel here yet right around our property. There have been a few locally wintering, but none right here on the property, so I'm gonna go clean that out right now. So here's the first kestrel nest box I'm gonna clean out, and I just climb up the ladder and I open up the front of this box. Some kestrel nest boxes have designs where the top lid opens up on a hinge, and I've had those in the past, but they're a nuisance to clean out because you have to go even higher on the ladder to open the top. So this one, I just unscrew the front and it hinges out on a nail on each side of the box, and then it's easier to clean out. So I'm just going to go up, check it out, see what's in there, and remove the material that's in there and replace it with fresh nesting material. So the nesting material I'm going to use today, and they do suggest that you put stuff like this in the box. On the right side here I've got coarse wood shavings that are just used for cleaning out our horse stalls. So we put this in after we've cleaned the horse stalls, and it's a bedding type material they can either lay in or just have a bit of a softer substrate than the dirt or the cement, whatever the horse is on. I also screened out some finer wood shavings from a hamster shavings mix that I got from a local pet shop. So they also had some fairly large curled shavings, but I think it would be easy for the eggs of the kestrels to get caught up and hidden by some of those curly shavings. So what I'm going to do is put a layer of these in first, the coarser flat shavings, and then I'm going to put some of these on top, and hopefully they hold together fairly well, that the kestrels can contour these into a nice shape. Now, as you can see, there's no nesting material in this box. I have put nesting material in here in the past, but I think the starlings take it out if they get a chance. So I'm just going to clean out this bird feces in here and then put some new nesting material in, and hopefully with this finer material they won't clean it out so easily. So as you can probably see now, I've got about 1.5 inches worth of nesting material in here. I put the coarser wood chips down first as a base layer, hopefully to hold things a little more steadily. And then I got the finer wood chips on top, and they'll be able to be formed into a nice depression for the eggs if the kestrels want to do that. But we'll see how this goes. Hopefully the starlings won't get in here and clean it all out, but they might. So there we go, that box is cleaned out now, and hopefully the kestrels will show up in a few days or a week or so, and they'll be able to take control of the box a little better. Right now the starlings are looking in anything that has a fairly large hole, so they're usually very quick to get in and make changes if they want to. I'm not sure why starlings often try to bring the nesting material out. Maybe they prefer to lay eggs just on a bare floor sometimes, I don't know, but sometimes they take their own nesting material in too, so it's a strange situation with them. So off we go to the next house now. I've actually got 4 kestrel houses up, although only 2 or 3 of them are typically ever used. And last year, or the last couple of years, there's only been 1 used out of the bunch for whatever reason. This next house is the one that they used last year. So I had to go get the smaller ladder because this box is mounted lower on the pole itself. And part of the reason is that it's up on a hill of its own. This ridge along here raises the box another 7 or 8 feet above the local landscape. So in the end, the box is actually at a pretty good height. It's just lower on the pole, so I have to use a smaller ladder. So this box has a bit of a different design, and I didn't make it quite large enough, but it has a small swing out door on the bottom instead of the swing out front like the other one. And this was just another design I was trying, as opposed to the top of the roof one that swings up, which is a lot higher to get to. It's just held together by, or it's held shut by a screw, and then it hinges on a nail on each side here. As you can see here, there's a lot of pine needles and maybe smaller twigs and other stuff that's been stuffed in at least the lower 2 or 3 inches of the box. So we'll have to see what's in there when I get it out. But this is part of the problem with this door design, is I didn't leave myself enough room to actually be able to get in here easily and get this out. So I actually had to take that door right off its hinges here. You can see the one nail sticking in. So you can see the mess in here. There's a lot of grass been brought in, and then there's bird droppings on top of it. I can even see some skeletal pieces by the looks of it. Oh, filthy mess right now. You wouldn't want anything nesting in that. Here's some of the nesting material that was in there. This was the top, so it's all covered in bird droppings. And it looks like there was old woodpecker feathers in there, and the skull. Actually, that skull is probably a kestrel skull, so it may be that one of the babies died in here for some reason. So I got the old one cleaned out, the old nest, and now the new nesting material has been put in. Just packing it down a bit here. I got the larger chips on the bottom again and some smaller ones on the top. Hopefully this will be a lot more inviting than that mess that I took out. I just have to get this crazy door put on. That door should have come up to about this height, and then I would have had more room to get my hand in there. Poor design on my behalf. So there we go, the second box is cleaned out, and that's a perfect example of why you need to clean them out, because that was a total mess, and I wouldn't want any bird to be nesting in that filth. I'm pretty sure I cleaned this out last year, but again, the starlings might have gotten in there and built their nest, and then the kestrels might have come in after that. I don't know. It's hard to keep track of it sometimes unless you're constantly out here watching them. But I was sad to see that kestrel skull in there. Probably one of the young that had died, I suspect. Hopefully not because of the filthy conditions, but it's possible. So I'm going to try and keep a closer eye on these 2 boxes and scare starlings away if I see them, but they're hard to keep out of the boxes. They're just everywhere, and they are usually into the boxes before the kestrels get in. And I find the kestrels like to go around to all the various boxes I have, and they take their sweet time picking one, and by that time the starlings may have taken out all the new material I've put in and replaced it with their own stuff, or just taken it out and left it empty. Now obviously this wasn't empty. It looked to me like an old starling nest on the bottom, so I'm not sure of the progression of events there, but in any event, you want the boxes clean, so when the kestrels arrive, they got something nice to go into. They will dirty it up themselves. Obviously, a lot of that bird dropping in there was probably from the nestling kestrels, but still you don't want several years worth of that accumulation in there by any means. So at least now they've got a clean start to the season, and hopefully it'll be good enough to get them through it healthily.